Good evening, gentlemen. How are we all? Monday evening, it's the 17th of October. Halloween will be in a couple of weeks' time, if anyone's interested. And it's nice to be here, not always under good circumstances. Um, Let me just say, I'm not very, very happy uh, with these people. Has anyone seen one of these? Yeah, because I didn't bloody see one of them. Oh, God Almighty. More of that in a minute. Let's have a bit of a drink of beer first of all. Good job I had surplus, beer in hand, didn't it? Okay. Leeds, good evening. Popcorn. Popcorn, first 30, yeah. Popcorn, good evening, Ed. Maybe they were too busy sorting out Halloween tat for the shelves. They messed up your over. Somebody messed something up. Tom Easton, nice to hear from you. I am Tilt, Etchy Go, Ginger Joe, Woofy Nons, Woofy Nons, never heard this name before, but nice to hear from you. Even there, tell us about your Asda. Oh, Joe, I'll have something to say in a minute. Brian Street, Yoz Travels, nice to hear from you. Donald Trump, Ty Billy Boy. Looking forward to this. This is the last live before Little Ed goes to Thailand. No, I mean it's November. It's next month. But I'm just gonna be for the next couple of weeks just one live stream on this channel and one on the other channel because really I need more time now to get my act together really because the travel is coming up soon. Chaz Brown, Matthew Cartwright, Peter Blue, Neil Fleet, Delayed Dave. Martin Ryder, nice to hear from you again. Yoz Travels. Let's see. Wolfie Nons. As they're aren't the brightest bunch, you can bloody say that again. Bunch of clowns. Hey now. Sound for sleeping. Sandra Taylor, nice to hear from you there, Sandra. Nice to hear from you. Don't shop at Asda. I'm not sure that I'll be shopping at bloody Asda again. Jesus Christ. 90 minutes on the exercise bike. A nice brisk walk after a long pedal stage. Yeah, I did have a nice brisk walk after I actually done 2 hours on the exercise bike today when I woke up. And I did have a nice walk, but not up the country lane. I had a walk to the bloody co-op to get some groceries because my Asda delivery didn't turn up. Jesus Christ. Ricardo Kamasuki. Juan Carlos. Shout out to all the top mongers firm. Jacko, Costa Rica. Okay. Alpha Interactions. Nice to hear from you. Hope you're all packed for your upcoming trip, Eddie. No, I haven't done any packing yet. I know what I'm going to be taking. I still reasonably to do that in the day, but I won't leave it to the last day. Obviously, I'll do it before that. But one of those things, isn't it? That I know some people who pack their stuff, suitcases 2 weeks before they're flying out, and then during the 2 weeks they have to open them again to take something out because they need it and whatever. I'll leave it to the last couple of days, but I know what I'm taking anyway. Leo Malley, are you visiting the Philippines on this trip, Eddie? I haven't planned that, but you never know. If I do, it will be in the new year, January or February. Frank Travels, hi girls, hi guys, love the dirty music. Good for you, mate. Boo Hoo, Paul Augustin, Donald Trump. Are you changing your dollars in UK or Cambodia? I don't actually know. I haven't really seriously thought about that yet. Last time I was in Cambodia, I had a prepaid card, didn't I? I'm going to have to sort that out. I really, really am going to have to sort that one out. Serge R, Barry from EastEnders, Martin. Barry from EastEnders is back from, I believe, California. I hope you had a nice time, mate. Martin Blonson, good evening, Ed. And don't be lazy. Pick your own shopping at the shop. I've done all of that. I've done all. I like the idea. It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Getting my, I started shopping online. I only started doing it this year, and it's terrific. I know Asda. there's always things that they haven't got. They always supplement bloody things. Like you ask for, 4-pack of beans, they give you no sugar beans, which don't taste the same. If you can overlook that sort of thing. But what happened? What happened this weekend? Right, I've already got a massive amount of tin stuff and stuff in the freezer. I've still got a bit of booze, but I'd run out of rum and various other things. I'd done a shop of 130 quid, thereabouts, 130, £30 of shopping, which involved various bottles of booze, a couple of cases of Coors Light. First one today. A couple of cases of a nice chicken and whatever. And I booked it for Sunday evening because they do deliver on Sunday evening. It's got it. I filled it out, 130 quid's worth, yes, of booze and food. Now, my best friend comes around on Sunday night and we have a roast dinner together and we talk about old times as friends do. And we, watch a bit of garbage on Netflix or whatever. And then later, early hours of the morning, after we drunk so much booze and chatted away, we probably finished the night off on a nice cheese on toast or something like that. So that's Sunday evenings. I thought a Sunday evening delivery. It was booked for 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Sunday evening. It's got it there. I paid for it. It came out of my account, 130 quid, right? And it was going to be delivered in one of these here. Well, they just didn't turn up. No, I got a note beforehand, as you do, an email to say, Mr. Sweeney, those 3 packs of chocolate mousse that you ordered, we haven't got them. So you're going to have to deal with strawberry mousse instead. Okay. Well, yeah, fair enough. I'll deal with strawberry mousse. I mean, that's not what I would have chose, but, it'll do something a little bit sweet and light, after your roast dinner, fine and dandy, okay? Also, Mr. Sweeney, that 1 litre bottle of Gordon's gin that you ordered, you'll have to make do with a 70cl bottle of gin. I thought, okay. I already knew that the Lamb's Navy rum wasn't coming. It was another variety of rum, which I was willing to try, and bottle of Jack Daniels, a couple of cases of Bayers, various food and all this kind of stuff. Okay. I got a message to say estimated delivery time 8:30, yes. Okay, so from 8:30, I was, popping outdoors and I hadn't got any message. Cut a long story short, for about 2 hours, I was just popping out, where is this? But they just didn't turn up. I checked online, track your order, where are they? Where is the Asda delivery? Where is this? I want to see one of these outside. I want to see one of these outside. Where is it? So the end result, it didn't turn up. They haven't sent me a message. They've reinstated the money that they took out of my account. But Christ almighty, I mean, how can you trust these people? 1 week they're sending me a bottle of Lamb's Navy rum with the seal on top of it. The following week, I had to get them to take it off. They tried it again last week, and it was a good job that it was attentive this time. And apparently it happens quite often. But to just not turn up, I actually put the oven on to heat the oven up, get it nice and ready. So as soon as this chicken arrives, this chicken is going to go straight in the oven, the preheated oven. It didn't arrive. Well, is the chicken run away or something? Did it bring a live one? It's bloody run away from them. So no chicken. And so I had to make do with something else. We had to make do with another dinner. But then afterwards, you want something a little bit sweet. And even though I knew the chocolate mousses weren't common, the strawberry mousses would have been quite nice. But we couldn't have them because we didn't have any strawberry mousses. During the course of the evening, I would have liked a nice glass of rum or two. But I couldn't because the Asda didn't turn up. And that's why I couldn't have it, because we didn't have any rum. And I didn't have any gin either. And I didn't have any Jack Daniels. In the early hours of the morning, before my friend went home, We usually have a nice cheese on toast. Nice late, early hours of the morning snack, cheese on toast. But we couldn't have cheese on toast because there was no bread and there was no cheese. So that's Asda. Thanks, Asda. They've refunded my money. They just cancel without a bloody reason in the world. It's great. It's wonderful sitting online and choosing what you're going to have. I'm going to have this, that, and the other. Wonderful. You feel so much in control of shopping. But when these bastards don't even turn up, makes you realize that you're not fit. What was he, sick or something, the driver? Did he take the night off? Did he have a date or something that was more important? I mean, if that had been a family who were actually waiting for their food. Imagine if that was a family with children or whatever, and they're all bloody going hungry. Thank you, Asda. Thank you. Okay. Not bloody pleased with that at all. Not impressed with that at all. Pinball. Good evening, Ed. The problem was your order. Okay. Let me see now. Let me see. Yours Travels. I never get my shopping delivered there. It's very lazy. And I like to pick the best products. I like doing it. I used to always I haven't got a car right now. I got rid of my car. I haven't got a car at the moment. So I'm not going to get a taxi there and back. I like the idea of having it delivered to me. Even some of the guys who deliver it, they know me by now. I even give them a tip. I give them a few quid. I think if they're making so many deliveries and I give them a few quid and everyone gives them a few quid, that turns out to be a nice, handsome little tip for them. Bastard didn't show up. David Marchant, Andrew Blades, J975, Kamasuki, Eddie's way was Lamb's Navy rum. That I already knew they didn't have that, but they were sending me another type of rum, which I was looking forward to. Let's see. Okay. John Hughes, good evening. Life Utopia. Off to Amsterdam in the morning. Get that bloody thing off the screen. Off to Amsterdam in the morning for a week-long work trip. We'll be sneaking off for some extracurricular activities. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Okay. Yeah, it wants to turn up now. The bloody Asda van wants to turn up. Okay. Robert Jones, nice to hear from you. Tampa guy. Okay. Ed, you look like you're feeling better tonight. I don't feel better. Robert Jones, Gepetire 5 weeks today. Straight on to watch Wales beat the Yanks in Carter. Okay, good for you. Let me see. Martin Ryder, Bristwater, the kebab shop. Oh no, you only eat kebabs after you're drunk, or after you've been drinking. Peter Blue, can't trust Asda, Eddie. If they got bloody Laurel and Hardy packing the shelves or something. Oh, Paul Hoskin, I had 8 fish fingers. Good for you, mate. Bottle Baby started packing 3 weeks ago. Okay. So let's see now. Martin Ryder, packing list, catering size box of rib for their pleasure at your G-string. Okay. How do you know I don't go commando? Carl, are you looking forward to your new Cambodia video? I'm looking forward to that as well. Let's see. Glenn Wyndham. Eddie, don't end up like Al Capone. Get some penicillin for your throat. Oh, I see that movie with out the Capone with what's his name? Tom Hardy playing Capone in his later years. Excellent. Well worth a look there. Scaffolder John, hi Eddie, did you book a return flight? Yeah, I have. I've got a return ticket. And I'm flying out for 4 months, and I'm flying out soon. Can't wait. Mazza, hello Ed, good to see you, mate. I still haven't signed up my new exercise bike, but it sits proudly in my lounge, ready to go. Get on it, man. I bought the exercise bike, and a few years ago, and a few years ago, and you get a bit lethargic and all that. But I think the best thing to do is not plan anything. Not plan anything. Just put, your favorite videos on the TV or whatever, tracking them from your TV. I mean, I don't set targets or anything like that. I just get stuck into my favorite videos, get the bike and just get going. And before you know it, time passes and I'm losing weight. I have lost a bit of weight. Okay, Sandra Taylor. Sandra Taylor, this time last week I was on the floor, tripped and dislocated my shoulder and broke 2 ribs. I had to wait 14 hours on the floor for that. Oh my God. Jesus, Sandra. And here's me moaning about the Asda van not turning up. Sandra Taylor, last time I was on the floor, tripped and dislocated my shoulder and broke 2 ribs. I said, oh well, I hope things are, 14 hours for an ambulance. That's dreadful. That is dreadful. Well, I hope you're better now, Sandra. I hope you're recovering anyway. Oh, but I wish you well. Robert Jones, steady. Looks like your head shrunk. Okay, thank you. Johnny B, I said, how long now? Only a few more weeks, a few more. I'll be there in November. And I think the last live stream I do will be 2 weeks tonight, which will be October the 31st, which will be Halloween. And then after that, I'll be getting ready and I'll be on my travels anyway. Boris Johnson, good evening. Let's see now. Scaffolder John. Yeah, let's see. Yours travels 8:30 p.m. What time do you have your Sunday lunch dinner? Well, personally, I don't have any. I actually don't have any, you see, because I'm a bit of a night owl. I stay up all night watching Netflix and whatever and that sort of stuff. I'm drinking too much, yeah, and then I crash out. And I don't. Recently, I've been getting out of bed. God knows, in the middle of the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then when I get up, I just drink maybe 3 cups of coffee, check my emails, or whatever I've got to check on the internet, and then I get on the exercise bike for a couple of hours, and then usually take a speed walk up a country lane, that sort of thing. So by the time that's all done and dusted and ready, I usually don't have my evening meal until well, that is my Sunday lunch. I have it in about 10 o'clock at night usually. Let's see. Okay. El Tripco, Eddie, you never have to leave your house. Well, I mean, if Asda bloody got here on time, Mike from Wales. Sean Harris, even that, how did you rate William Holden when it comes to movies? I think the first and best movie I've ever seen William Holden in was The Wow Bunch, which is quite simply one of the most greatest and most authentic westerns of all time. And William Holden, I think he's probably a better actor when he's playing something a bit darker than a straightforward hero. A fine actor. Matt Boo-hoo, nice to hear from you, mate. Nice to hear from you. Itchy go. Eddie is not a happy man. Okay. Paul Oskin, how far is Asda from where you live? Miles away. Legan, I actually just watched an interview with your girl Caroline Monroe. It was just posted today on YouTube. Got to watch it when you can. You'll like it. Oh, lovely, gorgeous woman. Gorgeous woman. Yours travels. Get you to the shop, my good friend. It's also an extra 3,000 steps. I walk up a bloody big hill to the co-op, but it's a bit of a novelty to me ordering things online because I only recently started doing it, but I've kind of gotten used to it. I really, really have. I mean, once you get used to doing it, if it works perfectly, fine. Because, you just get on your laptop and you feel like you're so much in control of things. But when the bastards don't even turn up, I mean, how can they just not turn up? I mean, the tracking order, it said on the way, and then it said, oh, we'll run a bit late. It was supposed to be between 8:30 and 9:30, estimated 8:30. I think it got to be 11 o'clock at night before I gave up. Mazza, try Tescoed. Did they deliver? Let's see. El Cervico, you're sweet enough. Yeah, but you still like it. You still, like a little bit of sweet something after a roast dinner, don't you? I mean, I knew that they didn't have chocolate mousses, but I would have quite happily tried the strawberry mousses. You know. Nick Wiltshire, get Morrison's instead. Okay. Now I've when I come back for my travels next year in March, I'm certainly going to review Asda. I won't be using Asda again from now till when I go away. They've had it with me, and but maybe I think I better change my supermarket. In UK, Mr. Good Ed Rant just in time before he goes. Okay, thank you, thank you. Lost King of Scotland. What's the blood pressure? Oh, Jesus. Kamasuki won. They know you're on anxiety. That's why they never turned up. They care for you. Okay. Nick Wiltshire, he was eating the groceries, Eddie. Okay. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. Johnny B. How bloody dare they? Do they not know who you are? Yeah, they know I'm an alcoholic. This is just whatever. Oh God, this wouldn't surprise me, Bugsy. I wonder if Lisa Dale works in Asda dispatch the yeah, that could be yeah, that could be yeah. Boris Johnson sounds like Asda had a U-turn like the current government. What's this? Martin Ryder, try a Cardo free delivery. Today, is that a supermarket? Dino 1011, get a takeout, Ed. Treat yourself. To be perfectly honest with you, I cook some nice meals. I cook some even a nice pie with sausages and jack of potatoes. I do like those jack of potatoes that you bung in the oven. Vegetables, great. I cook some nice dinners. I mean, I've had plenty of restaurant meals that haven't left me feeling, wow, I really enjoyed that. As much as the stuff that I cook real meals. I mean, takeaways, they're always a bit hit and miss them. Ernest Connell, okay, nice to have you there. Let's hear about these UK politics for the moment. Sounds like chaos. Yeah, absolutely. Paul Hoskin, it's a disgrace. Ed is their number one customer. Well, I wouldn't say that. Yeah. Eason, man, Asda got a hookup app in Battaya now. You never see you're going to get the knock on your hotel room door, and if there's going to be a lady by there saying, sorry, we ran out of pussy. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'll drink to that, Eason, man. And to think, I get Asda insurance, annual travel insurance. One year I didn't renew it because I didn't want it for the second year, and yet they still took the money out anyway. Jesus Christ, they couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery. I mean, to Asda do funerals? Do they do funerals? What are they going to do? Not when some poor bastard dies, are they going to send the friends and relatives to a graveyard in Newton Abbey, and the body gets sent to bloody Plymouth? I mean, you never know what they're going to do next. Okay. Let's see. Iron Tilt. I prefer to shop in person and check out all the hot ladies. Asda are owned by Walmart, don't forget. Hot ladies, not really. Who's this? Here you go. I'm flying out next week and just realised my suitcase is too small for a 3-month holiday. Needs to rush out. Yeah. Well, I'll make sure your suitcase. We'll make sure it's allowed in your ticket, the baggage and all that. Ed Sweeney's 20 stone white back in England. Come upstairs and sling one up me. Okay. Sling what? Yeah, a Mattison's, Mattisson sausage. Perhaps you like one of them. Gary Hughes. I go into Asda. There's never any staff around to help. Okay. Martin Ryder, Terminal 2, Heathrow, London Pride pub. Beer is outstanding. There's a Weatherspoons at Hounslow for a pre-drink. Yeah, good. I know that one very, very well, Martin. Good for you, mate. Martin Blonston sounds like Liz Truss is running Asda. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sounds about right. Yours Travels, Martin Ryder, airport lounge all the way. 35 quid for 3 hours of food and good drink. He paying £6 and £7 a pint and £12 for a breakfast. Well, the thing about Heathrow is definitely one of the better value airports around the world. I mean, you could get like a pint for about a fiver in most of the places. But I think it's gone up now, hasn't it? I think it has. Everything's gone up. Okay, let's see. Intel Inside. Hey, I've just booked it for 2 weeks' time, 8:20 Eva Air. That's good. It's not brilliant, but it's good anyway. So good for you, mate. Anyway, good for you. Daniel Kelly. Oh, excuse me. I've got a bit of problems with aches in my shoulders and whatever. I'm gonna have to take some tablets for it. Oh, it's great getting old, isn't it? Bloody great getting to 60 years of age. Okay. What do I? Daniel Kelly, Eddie, the best way to pile on weight is to scoff late at night. Well, we all do things differently. I know people say that. Everyone says that. But what I find, you see, I mean, if I have a snack late at night, then I'll sleep well and I don't really need breakfast the next day. I'll just go more or less straight into the exercise. The idea of not eating late at night, that is a really boring, because when you think about it, if you have an evening meal early on in the evening, late at night, what are you going to do? Are you going to watch a movie, Netflix, or whatever? You're going to have a drink. If you're hungry, near the end of the night, if you're hungry and you're going to watch a late night movie, it's not very nice, because you want to be totally relaxed, don't you? You're going to be watching a movie or whatever you're doing late at night when you're feeling hungry. So, a nice bit of cheese on toast, I always find does the trick. Gaz77. Hi, Eddie. I nicked 3 bottles of Bacardi and 4 whiskey from Asda's a day, and I took a poo on the toilet floor and white poo all over the toilet door. Okay. Now, normally I'd sympathise with Asda, but in this case, I'm not. Martin Ryder. Let's see. Okay. Who's this? Ginger Joe. Eddie, any chance before you go having a game of hot or not? Thanks. Is that like Roger or Dodger? Did we do that before? Did we? I can't remember. I have heard that before. Reborn Itty and Bitty. If you order online, you miss out on the super deals that you had when you went to the supermarket. Okay. Yours Travels. Martin Ryder, I always get to the airport 4 hours before and in the lounge 3 hours before the flight. Last 20 trips, everyone I had a lounge. It's the only way for me. That sounds good, yours. Might look into that. That sounds pretty good. Sounds good. David Morrison's are good. Okay, give him a try. Mark Ollick, nice to hear from you, Mark. Good evening, Eddie. Hope all as well. Well, it's okay. I don't know when you joined, but I had a bit of a rant over this company owned by Walmart. They didn't turn up last night and left me short of food, and drink. Anyway, nice to hear from you, Mark. David Heisenberg, I'm on my yearly holiday from 4th to the 11th of November on my Elvis Presley week, which I've been going to for over 40 years now. Wow, that sounds good. And this is going to do rock and roll weekend at Kill Cat. Oh, well, I'll drink to that, man. I'll drink to that. Good for you, mate. I wouldn't mind that. That sounds like a lot of fun. Martin Ryder, Lidl are best for wine. Lidl. I'm not really that keen on Lidl's food, but they do some good. The wine is good. Also, Lidl do that Reverie, cognac, which is great value and is really, really lovely as well. But I don't think Lidl's do a delivery, not as far as I know. Let's see. Gaz, Gaz, you should do what I do and dress up as a woman and neck. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to, I'm not going to steal anything. And I certainly am not going to dress up as a woman. What would I look like in drag? Maybe I'd look like maybe Leslie off Benidorm. Watch Benidorm, the series, Leslie. You know what I mean. Mark Oleg, all is good. I hope all is good. Yeah, okay. Cheers, mate. I mean, nice to hear from you. Nice to hear from you. I hope everything's good in Minnesota anyway. Is the winter started coming in? Yeah, it started. It hasn't really started coming in here yet. We're very, very autumnal. There's no really cold temperatures just yet. Hopefully, I'm going to get away from England before all of that arrives. Capo 17, Gaz 77, hijacked the Asda truck. Yeah. I was kind of thinking something like that. Yeah, okay, yeah. Gaz 17, Capo, I've got Eddie's shopping. Oh, yeah, Gaz has got my shopping. I hope it chokes you. Martin Wright, I'm not going to put your comments on the screen there. I don't see know what you mean by that. Let's see, in UK, Ed, let's calm down and have a discussion on how many soapies you've had on your travels. Oh, YouTube's getting very, very prudish with a lot of things nowadays. They're getting very, very prudish. We've got to be careful. We've got to be careful. Martin Ryder, at least £6 a pint at London Heathrow. It didn't used to be, and I think that's only a recent thing. I mean, because I've been to some, other, less advanced countries like Turkey, and some of their airports are an absolute rip-off when it comes to booze. And then you arrive at Heathrow, and the booze seems quite reasonable, really. Maybe it's gone up in price now, but I think maybe this year, but it hasn't been that bad in the past. Yeah, Ben Finn, Kay. Got on late. Hi, Eddie. What happened on Saturday? Was there a live chat? No, there wasn't a live chat because with travel coming soon, I've got to cut down a lot. So I didn't think I could give it 100%. Citizen Mikey, I ordered from Asda and they sent it 3 times everything. I phoned them and said I didn't order that much, and they told me just to keep it and refunded my card. Well, you've got better bloody luck with them than I have, anyway. Sean Harris. So Valerie Leon or Caroline Monroe? Tough choice, I know. Well, I mean, both of those women have been in Bond movies, but I don't know if it counts. I think it's Caroline Monroe every time for me. Valerie Leon, I think she'd be too tall for me. Lovely woman. But Caroline Monroe, definitely. Let's see. Yoz travels. Okay, thank you for that, Yoz. Cheers for that, mate. Get a couple of pints on me in the airport. Okay, that'll get me 3 pints in Heathrow, that will. Cheers for that super chat. Very, very kind of you, mate. Very kind of you. Bugsy61, as you watch Netflix, have you seen that docudrama? Yeah, pretty good. Also, Reed Cognac, Marks and Spencer just brought out a 5-year-old XO for 18 quid. Very smooth. I've never, ever shopped in Marks and Spencer in my life. I walked in there once and I glanced at the prices and I thought, no, this isn't for me. But that sounds good. Well, that sounds good anyway. That sounds good. Thanks for that info anyway. I was going to say, okay, so... Yeah, well, Bugsy. Yeah. What was it? Says he drama document. Sorry about about lost track there. Bugsy, have you seen that drama docu? Yeah. No, I haven't seen it really. I used to like things like that, but when I watch a movie now on Netflix, it's always very, very late at night when I've had a few beers. So I admit I don't really watch thought-provoking, intelligent stuff anymore. I tend to watch more brain-dead stuff, to be honest with you. Late at night, because that's all I can watch really late at night. I'll discuss a few what's on Netflix later on. Let's see. What's this? Paul Augustin, Eddie, what are your plans for retirement? The way I'm going, I'll be bloody dead before then. Let me see. Okay, Paul Hoskin, what's the topic tonight? Okay, Ian Bowden, evening, Evan, everyone. I'll join your chat room at the moment. We're just watching old Top of the Pops on YouTube. Yeah, old Top of the. Well, good for you, mate. Anyway, some great stuff. Old flares and platform boots. Just as long as you're not watching that bloody bloke with the shiny suits and the platforms. I wouldn't watch him, and I wouldn't watch anything with Jimmy, what's his name, present. Oh, he look like creepy. That Jimmy Savile. I mean, do you know what? When I was a little kid and I started watching Top of the Pops, I looked at people like Tony Blackburn and Dave Lee Travis and a few other people, and they were adults, but they look like young adults who might have an empathy with the music scene. And I hated it when Jimmy Savile came on. I hated it because he looked like an old man. I thought then on Top of the Pops, what is he doing there on Top of the Pops? Even as a little kid, I thought, what is he doing on Top of the Pops? Because he looked like an old man. Even when he was younger, he looked like an old man. And I thought, I think the reason was quite obvious. Lots of young people in Top of the Pops studio, wasn't there? I think that was the reason. Okay, I'm not going to go into that. Yours Travels. That Dharma series on Netflix is sick. Turned off after 2 series. Wow, what a sicko. Yeah, I would like to see that. I've heard good reports. But, the idea of serial killers and all, I used to be interested in stuff like that. But I want to watch something that's entertaining. I don't really watch anything that's, especially late at night. I don't want to finish my evening on something that's a little bit depressing or whatever. Okay, so I'm not going to comment on this because I don't comment on other YouTubers. I'll just let you read that one there. I'll just let you read that one. I don't comment on other YouTubers. Gas77, do you think they will let me on the plane to Thailand wearing nothing but my sister's tongue, pink lipstick, and high heels? Oh, just tell them that you're going to sit next to Eddie, okay? And they'll let you on. Okay, anyway, okay. So let me see. Oh, okay. So let's just say, banner on this. Now, our politics is in a bit of a bloody mess. Even people from other countries must be looking at our politicians right now and thinking, what the hell is going on? I seen something on Facebook, an image where someone that put a revolving door on the front of number 10 Downing Street. Sounds about right. How many prime ministers and even prime ministers who've never been voted for by the public have we had in the last few years? I'm starting to lose count. And at the end of the day, they can't seem to get a bloody decent leader for love nor money. So the question is, no, it's not there. Okay, so the question is, has there ever been a time of such mediocrity in politics? I mean, just look at them. Where is the commanding leader to lead this country? Where is he? Where is she? I mean, they're ditching Bojo because he was a bit of a clown. He probably wasn't that bad given the circumstances, but he told porky pies. They ditched him. Fair enough. But what have they replaced him with? Bloody Laurel and Hardy. And now they're having more U-turns and, oh, Jesus. Ben Fenke, Eddie, do you think Jonah Lumley is a sexy older? Yeah, yes. Okay. Gary Hughes, No, we need Farage, I'd say. We'll probably never have Farage because the sad state of the way this, the politics works, that you're going to have Labour or Conservative, one or the other. And I can't see Farage joining either of them, really. But come on, in terms of a personality, the guy would run rings around the rest of them. He's so commanding, so articulate. I mean, he'd run rings around the bloody lot of them, whether you like him or not. Yeah, Mark Oleg, Stan Laurel. Yeah, I think we do better with Stan Laurel as our Prime Minister, to be honest with you. I think we would. I think he'd make a better job. Yours Travels, Hunter's actually in charge and Truss is just a puppet now. I would love Boris back now. She'd never have sacked him. I think a lot of them regret sacking him. It's not healthy for the country to be changing the leader of the country every 5 minutes. It's not good. It's really, really not good, that, because in the last 10, 12 years, we've gone from the credit crunch crisis, to Brexit, and then, the anti-virus, the pandemic, and now like the threats of bloody Vlad the Impaler. And you need a solid commanding leader more than ever. So, where is the solid commanding leader? I mean, Liz Truss, for Christ's sake, where did he get her from? I mean, right now at this moment, she looks nothing like a prime minister. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that she said or done, to suggest that she could ever be a commanding leader. Yeah, let's see. Okay, let's go through it. Let's see. McLaren, Mr. Ed, I'm totally engrossed in my new love, Annalita, at the moment. 1 month anniversary. She's effing fit for 30. Oh, good for you, mate. Anyway, I do like a nice happy ending. Good for you, mate. Sounds lovely. Sounds lovely. Citizen Mikey, number 10, the new squeaky door. Jesus Christ. I think my squeaky door would probably make a better prime minister. Frederick, the US is worse. The nutters have taken over the Republican Party. Midterms comments. I mean, when I say mediocrity in politics amongst leaders, I don't just mean this country. I mean, in America, I mean, it's not for me to comment on American politics, but is Biden the really, really commanding, dominating, strong leader that you would hope for? How about what's his name in Canada? Is he all that you hoped he was going to be? Let me see now. Oh, let's see. Paul Hoskins, going to be interesting with Liz Truss in Wednesday's question time. What's one of the Labour? I think it was one of the Labour people said about it today. They quoted Margaret Thatcher's "the lady's not for turning." In Liz Truss's case, the lady's not for turning up. I mean, where was she today? I mean, away with an excuse. And she disappeared, didn't she? After that mini budget, which caused so much controversy, she just sort of disappeared for a few days when she should have been there to answer people. People were wondering what the hell's going on. Joe Hart, there are no great leaders anymore. I'm starting to think you could be. This is controversial. I know that this is controversial. Not everyone would agree with me, but I actually think the best leaders that we had, I actually thought Cameron and Osborne were good because they came across. Cameron became prime minister, and remember that was a coalition at first. After Gordon Brown had almost bankrupted the country. With all the borrowing that he did. And Cameron, not the most likable of person, but him and Osborne were very, very intelligent, and they were a lot better than what we've got now. Pretty sure of that. Yeah, Tinks. British politics is the laughing stock of the world right now. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God! I mean, I don't want to say too much about the ex-chancellor, where crispy cornflake. All this I can think of is saying about him is, where the hell did he get him? Where did he get him from? In fact, where did he get Liz Truss from? Jesus Christ! McLaren F1 race, okay. Bugsy 61. Ben Wallace, an ex-army officer might be a good shout. You're right though. There is a dearth of talent. I mean, I think what any country needs is a good economist, and I don't think that crispy cornflake. I don't think he's the right economist to run this country. But when you think about the looming threat from Vlad the Impaler, right now more than ever, you need strong leaders, not a bunch of bloody clowns. Yeah, you need strong leaders more than ever. And I mentioned Biden and what's his name in Canada, not being all that he should be. But how about Finland's PM? That glamorous young woman who likes partying. I mean, they've got a threat on their doorstep. I mean, the world needs strong leaders, more than ever at this moment in time. The only really strong leader, I think, seems to be Vlad the Impaler, but that's for all the wrong reasons. What a bunch of clowns! I mean, I've never ever known a time when this country is struggling for a decent leader, a decent, charismatic leader. I mean, Tony Blair, whether you liked him or not, I mean, he was charismatic. He brought the Labour back from the wilderness, and he won 3 elections. Margaret Thatcher, bloody Boadicea there, she won 3 elections. Where did all the strong leaders gone? David Heisenberg. Winston Churchill was the best, and he had the war to sort out. No one in so-called government could govern anything. Nigel Farage will sort things out. So use your brains and vote Nigel Farage in as PM. But he's never actually, Nigel Farage has never been an MP. You need a better system, really, don't you? I mean, as long as they'll let, Labour and Conservatives, and don't forget those silent. I mean, if there was an election pretty soon, you look at the opposition. Is Keir Starmer? Is he a commanding leader? Really? I wouldn't say. I think he's probably he's elevated in recent times because it's like he was a bit bland since he's been the leader of Labour. But it's a scenario where you may be in an environment where you feel like you're a bit bland. But when everyone else is acting like donuts, bloody incompetent, it makes you look all the more sane then. And I think the dreadful behaviour, the chaos that has happened in the Conservative Party recently, I think Keir Starmer has kept cool during all that, and it's made him look better. It has actually elevated his status, no doubt about it. I think people, might just take a chance on him at the next election. Eastern man. Meanwhile, at Dover, oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, they're all bloody going. More Albanians. Joe Hart. I keep thinking Biden's going to keel over at any minute. Let's see. David Asmir. Biden, not sleepy Joe. He's useless when he is awake. Yoz Travels. Biden's hilarious. The weakest president I've ever seen. Is he the best? The reason he's president is because he's the best man out there, isn't he? Really? Is he? Does he look like the best? And yet he's got to be president. I mean, it makes you wonder. Geez, so what was the competition like if he's the best he can do? Gary Hughes. If we think this lot are bad, just wait for the other bunch. Let's see. Capo 17 here, Liz got held up waiting for their Asda delivery. Good vibes. Okay. I mean, some people are saying that she'll be gone pretty soon. She'll be the shortest prime minister ever. In terms of there's absolutely not. And I know when she became prime minister, within a couple of days, that Her Majesty died. But I think that was, in a way, that gave Liz a bit of a chance to get her act together. For when, until after the Queen's funeral, and she would come back into the limelight. But there is nothing that Liz has said or done, absolutely nothing, that would suggest that she is a strong commanding leader for this country. Absolutely nothing, not one thing, absolutely nothing. Gaz77 have applied to become the new PM. Well, you may as well, everyone else is. Let's see. Andy Baker, bring back Boris. He can throw a good party. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Iron Till. It's all by design in Western politics, all controlled by WEF globalists. They're sending us towards war because they want us all dead. Part of 2030 depopulation agenda. Oh, well. Ian Bowden, do you think Hunt is a better man in relative power at the moment than anyone else in this Tory Celtic Party in recent years or not? I'm not really sure about it. I know he was the health secretary, wasn't he? And he's not to everybody's favour, but I think he certainly seems to be more bloody articulate than the other pair of clowns, Liz and crispy cornflake. Let's see. Lee Clark, Jimmy Patel from Corner Shop. Okay. Eastern it's a coup by the globalists and the Tories are toasts. Okay. Scaffolded John, Nick Griffin. Last time I allowed a comment like that, someone said, "Oh, you support?" No, I just allowed that comment on there. Joe Hart, Hunt is like a doctor trained to give you bad news. Okay. I think it's like a bloody lottery. I think they should just drag someone off the street and say, there's your 5 minutes. I mean, what did one of Labour say today? He said something like, it might have been Starmer who said it. Every Conservative politician is going to be Prime Minister for 15 minutes or something like that. Capo 17, Andy Byrne will be a good lead, but needs good policies. At least he appears to be a likeable chappy. Yours Savills, Thatcher and Blair, the best two leaders in the last 40 years. Yeah, absolutely. Amazing when in power, but they got stuck now. I'm a Scout, but actually respect Thatcher. What a powerful woman. Okay, so I know she was ruthless. I mean, I lived during that time, and but Jesus, she had more balls than a lot of the fellas out there, and she was commanding. She was command. That is what a prime minister should be. Should be commanding. And I know she wasn't the nicest person, and she was ruthless. Against the poor. She just didn't see any reason for the poor. She was all for the rich. But I think a country needs a commanding leader, and Thatcher certainly was one. David Eisenberg, Nigel Farage is the best, and was Mr. Trump as USA president, that would be the best. When Trump became president, he didn't appear to understand the way British politics works. When Trump became president, he met Nigel Farage, didn't he? Invited him over and suggested to the Conservative government that Farage should be an envoy. He should be an ambassador, for Trump between him and Britain. It's something like that. I think, but Trump didn't realise that Nigel Farage is not a politician. He's not an MP, and he's not a Conservative. I think it's a bit cheeky when you think of it. Oh, we'll have that guy there. Send that guy. He's not even in bloody government. Ion Tilt, right or left, it makes no difference. They all report to the WEF, not the British people. Parliament is just pure theatre, like the mainstream media. Okay. Martin Blonsden, no one with any brains and sense wants to be in government. There's far better ways of making money, okay? Ian Bowden, are Americans as bad as their current leader as we are about ours here in the UK? It just looks like mediocrity across the board. It's mediocrity across the board right now. Let's see, scaffolded John Boris let in 1 million foreigners. Well, legal, maybe legal immigration. There is an increase of legal immigration, but I think it's the illegal stuff that is more worrying. Independent puppy, may as well get someone at random. Yes, they would make a better job as PM. Okay. Mazza, Liz Truss. No, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. It's not true, is it? Bent over. Puppets for World Economic Forum. The new world order is already in the making. School of Klaus Schwab. Oh yeah, that's worrying. That is very, very worrying. We have talked about that on this live stream before. Bottle baby, get the guy who broke into the palace and chatted. No, he's still alive now. Michael Fagan. He's still alive now. Let me see. Who's this? Independent puppy. What would you do if you were PM? Well, it's right now. It's all about the bloody economy. I'd like to say it's all about the economy, but then you got that looming threat from Vlad the Impaler. What would I do? What would I do if I were PM? Resign. I'd have my 15 minutes as PM and then bloody resign. That's what I'd do. Johnny B. Priti Patel would be an Iron Lady just in time for Halloween. I wouldn't want her as PM. I wouldn't want her as PM. Good looking girl. She could do losing a bit of weight. Let's see. Legan, Biden scares me. I hope he makes it to his first term. Politicians will say whatever to not offend anybody nowadays. Too much. Oh, that's across the board, that piece. What a crazy bloody world that we're living in. I mean, when you got you got trans people, a trans man who's sent to a bloody woman's prison and then ends up impregnating women in a woman. Oh my God, what a crazy bloody world this has become. David Coleman, hi Eddie. I was at my travel agency today. I may put my trip off for a year. I could do 2 weeks in Japan and then a month in Thailand. Same airfare. Just more money for Japan. Well, I've never been to Japan. I'd like to go to Japan. I really, really would. But it's not really on the cards for me right now. But, good for you. Good for you, David. Nice to hear from you anyway. Marcia, what happened to David Miliband? I thought he would end up as PM one day. Well, he was, as Cameron put it, David Miliband was knifed by his brother, wasn't he? It was like David Miliband was tipped, to be the Labour leader when they were looking out for a leader, and all of a sudden, he seemed to be the more commander. All of a sudden, Ed Miliband, who looked a bit dark, he looked a bit like Rowan Atkinson, didn't he? All of a sudden, Ed Miliband decided to go for the same post and ended up pipping him at the post, didn't he? Cameron liked to joke about that. He'd knifed his own brother. Ed Miliband, I mean, I always thought he was an interim. I do think there's such a thing as an interim political leader. When a party is in disarray and they got no chance of winning anything or doing anything right, I think they'll bung an interim leader in there, knowing that this person will never, ever win an election, but he'll do to pass the time away until we find someone decent. And I think that Ed Miliband was an interim political leader. As for David Miliband, I think he probably went on to better things. I think he went to America and made lots of money out there, as far as I hear. Stephen West, Liz Truss spotted an IKEA today looking for a new cabinet. Very good, very good. Oh, David Coleman, the UK is just falling apart. This winter will be so bad. People are going to die. Oh, I'm glad I'm going to be away. I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be here. Jesus Christ. Independent Poppy, the UK is finished. The last time I heard people saying that was in the late 70s during the winter of discontent. And then along came Thatcher. We need a Thatcher. We need someone like that now. We need Thatcher to come back. Ricardo, I heard that Liz Truss is in charge of Asda deliveries. Yeah, probably. Wouldn't surprise me. Gary Hughes. Penny Mordaunt spoke very well today. Yeah, I hadn't seen too much of Penny Morden before, but she seemed very, very articulate. She seemed, I think she speaks better than Liz Truss does anyway. So, she seemed a bit more articulate, didn't she? I seen that. Me and Ian Barron, Farage has one agenda to control our borders. Yes, great, but we need more of a manifesto if we ever want to be in power. No, that is very, very true, that, Ian. That is true. Because when Farage was leader of UKIP, they were a one policy party, and it ended up working well. It ended up having the influence that they desired. But I noticed, like, whenever they were asked what other policies they have, it always came back to let's get out of Europe. Really, they didn't really seem to have any other, policies really other than that. So yeah, that is a good point there. I am told illegal immigration is all by design, both here and in the UK and in USA. It's to degrade national states and try to roll out a global dictatorship. Okay, good for you. Gaz, okay, now you're talking, mate. Now you're talking. Let's see, David Coleman. I'm really worried about my family in Liverpool. This is no joke. The government is falling apart. Well, I wouldn't worry too much. As far as that concerned. I'm from Liverpool. I lived in the recession of the 1980s when Liverpool was. I've been there and done that, and I survived anyway. I survived. So no, I think Liverpool people are very, very resilient. I wouldn't worry too much. Tinks, not to put a damper on it, but I know 5 people with the antitis, one in hospital. Oh, God almighty. We don't want that back. Gary Hughes, the UK problem is that the left have had too much of their own way for too long. Did you see Eddie Izzard wants to stand as female for Labour? Well, that'll get them into government, won't it? That'll win them an election. Yours travels. The UK will come back stronger as we always do. We're about the most powerful small country in the world. What's the next Netflix doc? City of London. More money going through London than the Middle East. I did watch a documentary the other day, and why the London is so attractive for Russian oligarchs. That was very very interesting. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. England's always going to be England, but right now I think we all got problems. Okay, let's see. What's this? AJ, good evening, Ed. I had you on playback yesterday on my nice walk talking about your shagging days and your younger days in Liverpool. You were on loudspeaker. Other walkers were giving me strange looks. They probably found it interesting. They probably found it in. They probably asked you what that channel was. Ian Bowden, I need escapers net. So I just opened a £14 bottle of Asda's Caroline Monroe. You jammy bastard! I haven't got any rum. I haven't got. They run out, but they were going to deliver me another bottle of rum of another brand, but they didn't deliver anything in the long run. Let's see. Mazza Ed, quick change of subject. Can I interest you in a ticket with a meat raffle this weekend? No, definitely not. Okay, I think we enough of that. We had enough politics. We'll talk about a couple of other things in a moment. Anyway, it's time for. Where is it? Where is it time for? Where is it time for? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. There you go. There it is. Back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Oh, let me see now. Oh. I have sort of dreadful aches and pains in my shoulders and arms. I'm doing really well on the exercise, but I don't know. There's something wrong. I need some of those painkillers. So it's just good job I wasn't relying on Asda to deliver them to me. Let's see, Eason man. Let's make Harry and Meghan king and queen who can all live happily ever after. Oh, that'll be funny. They'll give us something to talk about every day. I'd go one better. I'd make Andrew and Fergie the king and queen. That'd be bloody hilarious. That would. Ginger Joe, country not as bad as folk in media making out. When the pubs, betting shops, alcohol sales, football attendances, takeaways, deliveries, and Netflix, etc., subscriptions come to a halt, we're in trouble. Well, funnily enough, I'm glad you mentioned Netflix because we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. Bottle baby, let's continue this discussion in Battaya. I think we'll have better things to talk about. Let's see. Okay. Let me see now. David, what part of town do most of the bar girls in Battaya come from? I think they come from Eastham, don't they? They come from a rural place, don't they? Yeah, let me see now. Ernest Connell, I had relatives leaving England in the 1970s. They must have knew that was coming. Okay. Sorry, I had relatives leave England in the 1500s. They must have knew what was coming. I don't know. I think England got pretty good after that. Oh, Jesus, I've got terrible shoulder ache. 1 week it's my legs, the next to my shoulder. Fred, if you're still thinking of picking up duds, try Perry's on Asylum Road in Bangkok near this. There's a little on the high side, but well worth it. Okay, let's see. I am still watching film Fistful of Dynamite, classic film. Fistful of Dynamite. I know that this is disputed by some, but James Coburn was Sergio Leone's first choice to play the man with no name rather than Clint Eastwood. But Coburn was an established star. They eventually got to work together, Leone and Coburn, in that film Fistful of Dynamite. Well, it still had wonderful music from Ennio Morricone, but that was actually a disappointing film. That it was actually a bit of a disappointing film. Let's see. Yours Travels been doing lots of planning and research, and I think I'm going to be addicted to Battaya. Well, you've never been there before. You've got to say it's good. It's good. It's still a great place. I mean, I've been, a lot of us have been going there for years. It's a terrific place. It's heaps of fun. I mean, it's got a lot of the things that you would want. And it may not be the Pattaya of old, but you've got to say it. You've got to say it. Simple as that, yours. I can't wait to get back there again. Ian Barton, how many more live streams till Thailand? Well, there'll be one for the next 2 Mondays, and the last one will be October the 31st, which will be Halloween, and 2 more. So between the 2 channels, another 4 live streams, but the last one will be October the 31st. And after that, I'll be packing me stuff then. I'll start packing me stuff then. Okay, so somebody mentioned Netflix. A couple of people have been watching Netflix. Now, some people say Netflix is going downhill and all that. I thought I'd give a bit of a review of films that were actually made for Netflix. And in the last week or so, I've watched 3. I've actually watched 3 movies. And some of the stuff on Netflix, the problem I have with it, being a 60-year-old man, there's an awful lot of younger actors in Netflix. And a lot of those things are aimed at younger people. Now, as somebody mentioned before about whatever it was called, Dharma, in the old days, I was always a film fan. I would watch slow burning, intelligent movies, thought provoking movies. But now the only time I watch a movie is very, very late, and well, actually in the early hours of the morning, after I've had quite a few beers and whatever. So I can't watch anything depressing. I want to watch something that's deliberately over the top, entertainment, maybe even a bit brain dead. So I watched some Netflix movies, and there's three of them I'm going to discuss now. One of them is just a disappointing for the money that was put into it. Another one is actually a good movie. It's a lot better than you might expect. And the third movie I'll mention is a really, really good movie that you really, really should see. Okay, so David Coleman. I gave him on Netflix. Most of the stuff is not very well made. Well, the first thing I'm going to mention, Netflix it's got some 150, $200 million movies, action movies, and all this kind of stuff, which is great. Now, you pay a subscription to Netflix. I think it's about 15 quid a month I'm paying. And you want your money's worth. Now, why do I watch a movie that's, a big, expensive action movie? Simply because I want my money's worth. And I think if you're going to watch an expensive movie, that's the best way to do it. So the first one, this is a little bit of a disappointing movie that I watched. Come out a couple of years ago. It's called Six Underground, right? Now, it features Ryan Reynolds. Now, to me, he's a new actor. I mean, I was brought him on, the old Hollywood macho man. I mean, he's like a bit of a new actor. What this basically is, I think it's $150 million action movie, right? Now, it stars Ryan Reynolds, who's a billionaire, and he recruits various other people who are excuse me, I've got an itchy nose. Various other people who are all presumed dead, but really they're actually going to fight the good fight and bring down dictators and all this kind of stuff. Okay, now this movie cost about 150 million, and when I started watching it last week, it came out a couple of years ago. When I started watching it the other night, I got into about the first 5 or 10 minutes, and I thought, I've seen this before. Oh, no, and then I realized, no, I haven't seen it before. I started watching it a couple of years ago and actually switched it off after about 10 minutes or so. It is very, very, totally action-packed and over the top. The problem with this movie is that it doesn't develop the characters good. In fact, it's not a good, the director just fills it full of action, this movie. But he doesn't really tell a good story. I mean, somebody once said about a film director, when you were a film director, you were telling a story through the medium of film. Well, this guy who made this just doesn't tell the story right. It's totally over-the-top action. And after a while, it just gets a bit tiresome. But if you stick with this movie, I mean, all of these 6 action heroes are going to bring down an evil dictator. Towards the end of the movie, it does improve. It's got some amazing action set pieces. It's got some it's amazing action set pieces. It's over the top, but it just doesn't tell a good story. For $150 million, and some of these Netflix productions are costing a lot more than that. I mean, it needs to get into the characters. Even the dictator who they're trying to bring down, his character is not very, very well developed. It looks like a series of over-the-top commercials. It's, if you like, hell for leather action movies, it's probably good. But for a lot of it's only about halfway through it that the actual story actually starts to make any sense. So it's worth a look, but you might find yourself, as I did when I first watched it, switching it off. Let's see. David Coleman, The Last Kingdom was great. Okay. Yours Travels. David Coleman, I had 7 destinations in Thailand, 4 islands. Oh, that's good. You have some lovely islands there. Yours Travels. 6 Underground is good, worth a watch, but nothing special. See, this is it. It is worth a watch. It is worth a watch. But the thing is, for $150 million budget, it should be something special. And I think the reason that I watch stuff like this, is simply because I want to get my money's worth. I would rather watch a $150 million action movie rather than a 2 million kitchen sink drama, which looks like an episode of EastEnders. But it just, for that amount of money, you would think that they would have chosen, oh, I don't know, a better director, I would have thought. David Coleman, I only watch historical stuff on TV, science, nature, no cop shows, crime. Ernest Connell, 150 million and no script. Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds about right. Let's see. David Coleman, yourselves, I'm thinking of flying to Tokyo. Don't have the time, but I have to save more money with this trip. $2,000 more. Humongous. I had you not been on a few weeks. How's it going? I'm looking forward to me travels. Nothing's perfect. Frederick, I like documentaries. Mr. Jones 2019 was really good. About the Holodomor fake news. Okay. Tinks, Ian Bowen, I know what you mean. I rushed out to make a gin and tonic during squeaky door time. Forgot to put the Jesus Christ Almighty. Okay, so anyway, that's one movie I watched last year. Like you say, if you've got 100 million, some of these are 200 million. If you've got a massive budget like this, you want to make sure that the guy who's behind the camera is going to make a good job of it, and he doesn't really. He doesn't tell the story. I think John Carpenter once said of Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Carpenter once said that when you're a director, you are telling the medium, telling a story through the medium of film. And with Close Encounters, Spielberg just didn't tell that story right, which is why he had to withdraw the movie and then re-release it. Having tampered with it a bit. But this film, it's worth sticking with it if you like explosive action set pieces. But after a while you think, come on, develop the characters, man. Let me know a bit more about the story and what I'm watching. So anyway, that's it. 600 grand. Just take a look anyway. Humongous. What's that? Humongous. Is that a says? Yeah. What was it now? Humongous. Have you seen the Dharma Netflix series yet? More about the cast of a spell. I think I've already explained personally. I know some of these movies are a little bit juvenile, but personally, the reason that I watch stuff like that is that if someone's got 150 million budget, something tells me I should get my money's worth out of Netflix. I can't watch anything I used to be able to do that, but not anymore. Now I just want something really brain dead and entertaining at the end of the night. And 600 grand, it is really brain dead. I'll give it that much anyway. Let me see now. Okay, David Coleman, the guys went crazy because of it. Okay. Let me see. Okay, there we go. David Coleman, let me see now. David Coleman, I'm only interested in the new James Bond will be. I'll tell you something. I mean, I always liked the James. I didn't love the James Bond, but I always liked him. But the thing is, the thing is, I've watched with my new DVD player. all 27 quid of it. I've dug out some of the James Bond collection, and they're still marvelously entertaining. I watched Spectre the other night for about the third or fourth time, and what a movie! What an amazing movie! I actually like it. The good thing about the Bond movies is that they're so forgettable that you can watch them over and over again and not really know what's going to happen next. So anyway, who's this? Ernest Connell. I know a guy that lived down the street from Dharma back in those days. He said Dharma was a funny guy. I really cut up. Yeah, okay. Popcorn. All Quiet on the Western Front supposed to be good. There's two versions. I know the original, the 1930s one, was classic. I'm not so sure about the others. Yours travels. James Bond is a dead horse. Retired from. Well, I mean, it was retired a little bit. I think Timothy Dalton killed it off for a few years, didn't he? And then in the 80s, and then a lot of people were against Bond coming back because the Die Hard movies and the spectacular kind of action movies had taken off then. They thought Bond was a character of the 60s, but it did come back in spectacular fashion, and people still watched them. Andrew Erickson, okay. Legan, I don't have Netflix, but I do have Epic, and they play all the Bond movies and Star Trek flicks. And the others are like, they have a series coming up, and the SAS Rogue Heroes looks good. Yeah, yeah, okay. Let me see. Okay, so Humongous. I haven't watched any Bond since Brosnan, but it bores me. Okay, so the second movie that I'm going to discuss now, second movie. Now, the first one, bit of a disappointment. Worth seeing for the amazing action bit of pieces, but not a satisfactory film. This second one is a better movie, and the third one, the one I'm going to finish off with, is a really, really, really good film, which I would recommend. So this second movie is this one, Army of Thieves. Now, apparently, this is a prequel to something called Army of the Dead. Now, I haven't actually seen that one yet. Apparently, that film, Army of the Dead, is about zombies in Las Vegas. Now, here, this is a heist movie set in Europe, and I do love movies with European locations. I really am a sucker for that. It's about a young German safe cracker and a gang of thieves who heist banks and all this kind of stuff. But it's really, really, it is actually a much more watchable film. It's a very controlled. It doesn't have the over the top action that the previous film discussed. It's a more laid back movie, and it actually does develop the characters. They're all young people. They're all young people, but it develops the characters a bit more. And one thing about this film, when they're robbing the banks, and the guy is trying to crack the safes, it is actually quite suspenseful. It's very, very well made film. This the characters are likable enough, and it's exciting enough, but it's not over the top, hell for leather action. So it is a very, very watchable film, and I actually really like this film. I actually really, really did enjoy it. Popcorn. Yes, it's a new version. It's supposed to be from the German angle. Not many war films from a German perspective. But Kenzie Break, only one I can remember. There was another one, Cross of Iron in 1977 with James Coburn, and that was told from a German perspective, and that was a bloody good movie. Cross of Iron is well worth a look. Well worth a look. Let me see. Yeah, yourselves. Army of Thieves is a great movie. The main guy, Sabe Cracker, is a very good actor. Yeah, I'd never heard of this film before, but I watched it the other night, and I actually found it the pace is just about right, really, for the thriller. It's got the action scenes. It's very, very well controlled. And the thing is, I don't know who the director is, but the actors in it are all quite well developed. They've all got personalities. Better. It's a lower budget movie than the previous one, but it's probably all the better for that because it's watchable and entertaining. And I know I just said this a moment ago, but those scenes where the safecracker is doing his business on the safes in these banks, it is really quite suspenseful, and it's a bloody good movie. So that is one definitely I would recommend. It's not a marvelous movie, but it's well worth a look. Well worth a look. Who's this? Legan. I like Dalton's Bond movies. Maybe Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson should be tired of series at 25. Well, there's always as long as there's money to be made. Mazza. I'm not really into Netflix. Porno is much better, and you definitely get more. Okay, whatever. Don't you pay for that one, do you? Let's see. Yours Travels, two very sexy girls in the yeah, absolutely. All the characters in this are really, really likable. I won't say what happens. I mean, so one of them turns a bit rogue and whatever. But it's a good movie, and even at the end gets a little teensy weensy bit sentimental. But I actually like this movie, and I'd even watch this film again. Well worth a look. Let's see. Okay. I'll tell you what, I don't normally do this. I don't normally do this, but I'll do it on this occasion, okay? Very, very tolerant with people. I'm very tolerant with people in the chat, very, very tolerant. But when you get out of order, you know what I mean? Anyway, okay. Let's see. David Coleman, Cross of Iron was a great movie. I think it was Sam Peckinpah. Yeah, it was a Sam Peckinpah movie. Absolutely. And it wasn't a totally satisfactory movie either, but it's well worth a look. So anyway, so the final movie of the three, and this is on Netflix. These are all Netflix's productions, and this one I really, really will recommend. But first of all, I'm going to drink some beer. Oh, that's quite nice there. Quite nice. Okay, so this movie came out about 3 years ago, and it's about a group of mercenaries who head into the Peruvian jungle in order to where this big cartel dealer lives, and apparently he's got stashed loads of money there. So they've all hit hard times, or some of them have anyway. So they're going to go into the jungle and kill this varmint and pocket all the money for themselves. And this movie is called. And this movie is called Triple Frontier. Now, this is another movie I've never heard of. It is actually a Netflix production, and it stars Ben Affleck, who obviously is a very, very famous actor. But I know he's this main actor in it, but in this movie, there are 5 or 6 of these guys. I think there's 5 of these, protagonists, and of them, Ben Affleck it doesn't really have a central character, not really, and but it's a fascinating movie. Basically, it's a bit of a slow starter. Like I say, there's Ben Affleck is retired. These are all retired, forces men. Ben Affleck is the most well known out of them. He's sort of hit hard times. He's struggling for money. So one of them reappears, invites a whole lot of them to go down to South America and get their action together again. It's highly dodgy. It's very, very highly dodgy. But this is a fascinating movie. What happens when they head to South America and they locate their target and all the money? I won't tell you too much about what happens, but it turns out that there's a lot more money than what they bargained for. And what they have to do is then get it out of the country. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but they have to physically drag this money across the Peruvian mountains and all this kind of stuff. And you do think after a while that this movie is going to be similar to that wonderful movie, Treasure of the Sierra Madre, which is one of my favorite Humphrey Bogart films. One of my favorite Humphrey Bogart films, Treasure of the Sierra Madre, which is an absolute classic, where they all go hunting gold and then they all turn against each other. I'm not telling you what happens, but these guys, you may think that they're all going to turn against each other. Watch the movie anyway, without me giving away the plot. But the actual bulk of the movie, where they're heading through Peru, is absolutely fascinating. It's very, very well done. The characters are well developed in this movie, and you really, really feel, you really feel involved with it. It's a very involving movie. It's very watchable. It really, really pulls you in. It's fascinating. It's got all the action and the suspense and everything that you would need, and it is a damn good movie. Humongous. Pedro Pascal. He's playing the lead in The Last of Us HBO show. Okay, yeah, good actor. He also played a very good part in that wonderful series, Narcos. Absolutely wonderful. Let me see. Okay. David Coleman, Kevin said, what's the old movie? Our Man in Havana. Alec Guinness is the main actor. Oh, they are wonderful. Yours Travels. Yes. Love this movie. This is an 8 out of 10 movie. The money is in the walls. Absolutely. I'd actually never heard of this film before. Ben Affleck is a likable enough character, but this was actually a better film than what I thought. Even war movies, I tend to find, it's just going to be a little bit grim and a bit depressing. And the first half hour of the movie is a bit slow getting underway. But once it gets going, obviously the first half hour is developing the characters and getting you involved with them. So when the action really takes off, you feel as if you know all of these characters. And it is a fine movie. Pele. Cheers, Eddie. Thanks for super duper awesome entertainment. Okay, well, I wouldn't go that far. Asda won't say that. They'll be smart. Ernest Connell. I'm going back to watching old black and white. Okay. David Coleman. Yes, David Lean was a great director. He did all of those big films. Bridge on the River Kwai, Lawrence of Arabia, that sort of stuff. Yeah. Frederick, old John Wayne movies in the 30s are really good. The big, I like the ones he made with Howard Hawks and John Ford, personally. What's this one? Singapore Down the Seeds of Jacksonville. 2016 is a really good movie made out of the UK. Not familiar with that one, but thanks for telling me anyway. Capo 17, Walter Houston was brilliant in The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. That film, the story of that movie, and I actually think that was Humphrey Bogart's best performance. I'm not saying that this film is like that; it isn't. But you may think after a while that there's going to be some similarities if you follow that story. But I think The Treasure of the Sierra, that is my favorite Humphrey Bogart movie. I know, like, he's more famous for playing Private Eyes and that sort of stuff. But wonderful, wonderful story and everything. Absolutely wonderful movie. Let's see, David Coleman. Singapore Down, that movie about the Irish guys in Africa was really good. I don't believe I'd seen that one anyway. So anyway, Yours Travels. Ed, do you like the older Tarantino movies, like the original Dust Till Dawn? I like the first two Tarantino movies. I like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. They were very, very clever, very groundbreaking movies, and they weren't predictable at all. They were, he was really doing his own thing. I think he went a little bit off the boil after that. I tended to find a lot of his movies later on were surprisingly slow, like Jackie Brown. A lot of people like that, but I thought it was a very, very, very slow film, that one. Very, very slow. But he has done some good stuff, but I like his early stuff the best. Who's this? David Coleman. That's and Don is a great movie. You can't beat Selma Hayek as the vampire stripper girl. Okay, was that in Dusk Till Dawn? Yeah, yeah. David Coleman, Dusk Till Dawn. I'll have to see that. I believe I have seen that before, but I can't. I don't think I really was paying too much attention to it. So anyway, three movie reviews. Okay, 3 movie reviews. You've got 6 Undergrounds, which is okay. Army of Thieves, which is good, well worth a look. But Triple Frontier, it's well worth seeing this film. Fascinating stuff. It's an action movie, but it involves you in the characters, and it's well worth a look. Absolutely well worth a look. Okay. So anyway, there you go. there you go. Okay, so Monday night's live stream. We've slagged down Asda. We've slagged down the government, but we haven't quite slagged down the Netflix movies. There's still some good stuff on Netflix, but really, it's the movies on Netflix. They're not necessarily what you get when you pay. It's not necessarily the more money you spent on it, the better movie it is. Some of the most disappointing. Some of the most disappointing Netflix movies are actually the big budget ones, strangely enough. I've seen all 3. I definitely recommend them all. Absolutely, they're all well worth a look. Like I said, I used to like thought-provoking, depressing movies. I can't watch something like that anymore. Late nights, few drinks. I want something that's going to entertain me. Really, that's about the gist of it. Who's this? David Coleman. Come on, guys. I admitted that Selma Hayek is the best stripper ever. I've got to see that. I've got to see that. Singapore Down. Some of the best vampire movies made. That George Hamilton with the Sexton. You've got to be kidding. That guy's George Hamilton, the Hollywood star who's famous for being famous. How many famous movies was he in? Legan, Eddie, you've got to watch Tombstone sometime. I think it's a little closer than Gunfight in the OK Corral. I do want to see that. I've never actually managed to see that, but I do want to see that. Selma Hayek is still hot now. Yours Travels. Selma Hayek is my. Okay, I've got to check. I've got to. I got to check up on Selma Hayek one of these days. Frederick, the Marx Brothers. I love the Marx Brothers. Not to everyone's taste, but the Marx Brothers, bloody good fun. Duck soup. Groucho's lines. Oh my God! You know, this guy may look like an idiot. He may talk like an idiot, but don't be fooled. He really is an idiot. Oh, absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Let's see. Ernest Connell, George Hamilton, famous for his time. Okay. Capo 17, Salma the Snake Lady. I've got to check that out. I really got to check that out. Listen, guys, we've been on for almost an hour and 40 minutes now. A nice laid back little Monday evening. I'm not feeling 100%. I've got terrible aches in my shoulders and whatever. But I'll be back on. I'll be back on Thursday night on the main channel anyway. At 10 o'clock, where we'll do some travel talk. I'm winding down now because, like a lot of people, I'm looking forward to my travels coming up very soon. So, in the meantime, I'll say to everybody, have a great week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for tuning. Let's see. Okay, let's a little bit more. Look, yours was Liam Neeson. There's another movie coming out soon. The same type of movie as the last 20. He's had a bit of a, considering he's really getting on now. He's done well in his later years, hasn't he? Okay, I'll say good night, guys. Anyway, I'll see you Thursday evening at 10 o'clock. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Have a lovely week. Anyway, I'll see you Thursday. Cheers.